自分一人で背負ってるつもり？私だって誰も失いたくないの。同じよ、哲夫さんと。
この道はきっと破滅に続いている。たとえ隠し通しても後悔は永遠だ。
Hello and welcome to another video on the VikingGnomeAnime channel. Today we are going to be reviewing the second episode of My Home Hero. This is a brand new anime that started last week, and it is quite entertaining so far, I have to say. I am quite enjoying the direction this one might take. Firstly, I will cover the episode plot generally, so of course be warned, spoilers ahead. So in this second episode, we start out at the tail end of the first one. Tetsuo had just killed the boyfriend of the daughter, and he is now having to deal with what he's going to do with the body. How can he deal with this? How can he solve this problem? He ends up getting the wife to buy him a ton of equipment and tools to make him basically able to MacGyver and Breaking Bad the body into smaller pieces, dissolving it, shrinking it, all this good sciencey stuff that might have a grasp in reality or not. I'm not quite sure. I don't know the science about these things, but it might be scientific, might not be. You can tell me in this case. Anyhow, after he does this, he takes the body home to his house and then tries to basically decompose it and figure out what to do with the remaining smaller parts of the body throughout the episode. The daughter, Reika, is offered them to stay at their house for the week, offered some excuse about cleaning and such at her own apartment. Now, the rest of the episode, outside of how to deal with the body and such, covers basically how the mother and father, how Tetsuo and his wife, is trying to deal with this situation in general. And of course, dealing with the advances of the mob, the Yakuza, and them being suspicious. They're tailing the daughter, they're tailing the family, and trying to figure out what happened to Nobuto, I believe his name is, who is the son of this higher-ranking Yakuza member. And the episode basically ends with the wife and husband sort of finishing their planning and setup of how to decompose the rest of the body. And you might think at the end of the episode that, okay, things are looking a bit better. But in the very end, they both get abducted by the mob. Now, of course, I did skip over a lot of info that happened in this episode. I'm not going to spend 20 minutes talking about every single plot point. That's the very general synopsis of what happened in this second episode. Now, I did make a lot of notes here. And before I go into my general thoughts on the episode, I'm going to go through some of these notes and talk about them. So, one thing I noticed is that the husband, even though he is somehow a mystery or crime novel buff, he loves it, he reads it a lot, maybe he even writes his own, I'm not quite sure. They might have said that before, not sure if they mentioned it or not. But anyway, he's really into these sort of things. So he somehow, from all these things, from all this reading, knows how to decompose a body, knows how to go all Breaking Bad, MacGyver-esque on this problem. So he makes all these technical homemade solutions to decompose the body and all this. My main question from the beginning of the episode was, how in the world does he know all these things? And I suspected that they were just going to explain it with him being into these crime novel things. And that is basically what the show does explain it with at the end, when the wife a bit casually says, Tetsuo, is this your first murder? Have you killed people before? I'm a bit worried here, And of course he answers with, yeah, of course, this is my first murder. It's just, I know these things because I read novels and stuff and really listen to, true crime podcasts. Okay, I guess, sure, why not? So that was at least one plot point I'm happy they actually delivered on, instead of not really mentioning how in the world he knows about these things, even though he could infer it was because of the interest in true crime novels and such. Well, another thing I wanted to note was that the opening song, the OP, is actually not bad at all. I thought it was fairly good. I enjoyed listening to it. I listened to it in full this time around, and it was not bad. Not bad at all. One thing I did notice, which I'm not sure why is the case, might just be something that was overlooked in the episode, but the daughter, Reika, right after she got home, remember, in the first episode, her face was bruised. She was totally covered up, right, because of her bruises and stuff like that. But after she got home, this is the same day and the day after, her bruises were all gone. Her skin looked totally fine. I suppose this could have been makeup, but it's a bit weird that she has no signs of all the bruises anymore. And those bruises don't just disappear in a few hours, you know? That might have been a animation overlook on that point. I did find it a bit odd that the Tetsuo and his wife sort of just went about this whole killing, murdering, disposing of the body type thing without really having any mental strain or issues, or at least that's how it seemed like throughout the episode. But closer to the end, we do get this emotional moment where they break down a bit, both of them. Maybe with the actual act and what they're doing actually hitting them more directly, and they might have just sort of been mentally blocking it off, compartmentalizing it up until this point. So that was nice to see, getting a bit more of a sort of a insight into how they are doing, how their mental state might be at this time, and just giving them a bit more humanity to them, right? Giving them a bit more approachability for the viewer. Displaying them as, hey, these are humans too. You know, this isn't easy for them. This is something that they are struggling with. So that wasn't horribly done. I would have liked to see a bit more of that emotional strain on the characters throughout the episode instead of having this all sort of at the end in this scene. But it was fine. I don't mind it too much. I did like the comment the wife made at this time as well, when she said, hey, you know, husband, you don't have to do this all alone. I'm here for you. I'm here to do this with you. You're not alone in this at all. I also want to protect my child, our family unit. I want everyone to be safe. I want everyone to be happy. So you are not alone. That was a nice scene, I thought, as well. And with this breakdown, of course, you get the standard. Even if we get rid of the body, even if we get away with this, we will have to live with the guilt for the rest of our lives. This is not going to be something we can just forget and move on from, even if everything goes perfectly. Which, as we see at the end of the episode, it does not, as they both get abducted by the mob, which we will have to see what happens with in the next episode. That's basically all I'm going to talk about specifics-wise in the episode. Now, for my general outlook and summary of the show so far, I mean, yes, I realize we are only 2 episodes in, but I do quite like how the show is progressing. I do like that it is so sort of dark and gritty and more realistic than the vast majority of anime we get, as they tend to be bombastic, fantastical, way over the top, and not really that grounded or down to earth. This show, on the other hand, is displaying way more of those qualities, which I can really appreciate, as it is an outlier in anime as a whole. The story itself is solid enough. I don't feel like there is too many things that are out of place, too many things that seem odd or unexplainable. As they also mention, you know, they try to get the mob off their trail by finding a listening device and then trying to explain that Reika had a stalker that might have done something to the mob boss's son. So I do like them implementing a bit more of a detailed story instead of just running through the concept without much rhyme or reason. So yeah, I'm going to continue watching the show. I'm going to cover it week by week, if that is something you, as the audience, would like to see. If that is something you would like to see, then please do comment so below. Also comment your thoughts on the video, on the show itself, or anything else you might have on your mind. Please also do like the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell, so you can be notified of new content. And of course, it would greatly support my new and budding channel, so do that if you are so inclined. I would really appreciate it. Any constructive feedback or criticism on my content or videos so far, also very appreciated. I will shut up now though. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.